Gail with Everything Nash, sitting here with the uber talented Chrissy Metz. Chrissy, I don't think we've ever met, so this is super fun.
We haven't, and thank you. That's very sweet, a very nice introduction. But no, we haven't met yet, so nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. We're going to start, we have lots of things to talk about. City Winery Tour, which is how this all got started. Talk about doing it. It's so fun. 7 cities, right?
Yes, 7. I'm very excited. We'll be in DC, Boston, Atlanta, and of course we're going to end up in Nashville, which is really exciting. And I wanted to, I had a tour planned before COVID, as many artists and musicians did, and then that all got pushed to the wayside. So, in reconfiguring and what it looks like now, I'm like, I just want to share my music with people, and I want to do it in a live space. Like, it's great to have it on Spotify and all the streaming services, but there's something very special. We did a listening room show with a couple other artists who I love very much, and everyone's like, what is, like, why are you not performing live? And I love people, so like I really do love to connect with them in that space. So I'm very excited, and I feel like 7 cities is like good. I think people on the West Coast are a little perturbed that we're not going any farther west than really Nashville, at least until, further notice. But I'm very excited about it.
I was going to say, yet. You're not going further west yet.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about Nashville. So I go to City Winery quite often. It's one of my absolute favorite venues. It's a beautiful space, but it's intimate.
Yeah.
That has to be, especially in Nashville, that has to be nerve-wracking.
If you would have asked me that a year ago, maybe 6 months ago, I'd have been like, oh my gosh, it's so nerve-wracking. I don't know if I can do it. And going to different shows and obviously loving all genres of music, but, singing country music, I realized that, like, we go to the shows because we get to see people in their element, sharing stories of the songs that they've written and the impetus behind them. And that's all I have to do. All I have to do is be authentically myself, sing the songs, be present, and want to connect with people. And, like, who cares if it's not perfect? And nobody likes a perfect performance, because, like, how interesting is that? Anyway, I mean, at least for me, and when I go see different artists. But also, it's like, I think we put so much pressure on ourselves, and, like, we have to be the best singer, and we have to be, awarded all these accolades and all these different, nominations. And we really don't. Like, it really is just about being you. And, like, it's more than enough. And Mandy and I were even having that conversation, because I got to see her at the Ryman a couple weeks ago. And she's like, yeah, I just realized that people come to see her, come to see me. And if they're buying a ticket, they want to be, they want that experience to be authentic. So sure, I get nervous because it means a lot to me, but it wasn't because I was comparing and despairing. And I did a lot of that, like, growing up. So it's a different kind of excitement that we'll call nervous energy.
And it's going to be amazing. I'm going to try to be there.
Oh, I hope so.
So fill me in on what's happening with your music career. I know you released some songs and you've been kind of churning them out. Give us an update on Chrissy Metz's music.
Yeah, so we just finished about 5 songs. That's my dog, Mabel.
Hi,
she was gonna play about my music too. So, I've been coming. I'm so sorry. We've been coming back and forth to Nashville for years, and then I ended up just buying a home here because it's so much closer to, obviously not obviously, but all my family in Florida. And so I have just been writing music since I've been on the show. And anytime I had a break or hiatus, I would just come and write music. And again, of course, it's like, I want to write music that I feel is either cathartic or I feel in the moment that I need to talk about. And so it really is about love and loss and new love, which is something I've experienced too, being with Bradley for the past 2 years. And so it really runs a gamut of, like, sort of the lessons that I've learned in my life and how I impart them in, this particular chapter in my life. So I'm excited to share it because I know that people are going to relate to it because we all go through the same things. It just might look a little different. Um, but they're all very, they're not for the faint of heart. They definitely are deep, songs. And not that I don't love the fun, fluffy stuff, because I sure do. But there's a lot going on in them.
And you have not been, I feel like you've balanced so well. I'm a Christian. This is what I believe. I'm not going to be obnoxious and shove it down everybody's throats. Talk about that balance, especially being in Hollywood too, where that feels kind of impossible.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of performers who have a belief in a higher power, whatever they choose to call it, them, it, the universe, whatever. I happen to choose to call my higher power God. And so what I know, and as far as what I believe, that um, God is a loving God and an all loving God. And so if people choose to hold on to him, it, the universe, whatever they call it, that's wonderful. And if they don't, that's their choice. And, I have no right to tell anybody what they should and shouldn't feel and believe. Should anybody ask me about, my practice or my spirituality, I would love to talk to them about it. But I also don't think that you have to compromise, whether it's your religion or standards or morals or values or particular projects that you want to do. I think that it's really just being authentic to who you are. And I think that people are afraid of what they don't know. And once you start to sort of explain to them what you feel or don't feel, people are mostly respectful of, oh, we have differing opinions, but that's cool. And I don't think in any way you should shove anything down anybody's throat, because they won't listen anyway. When anybody, it's like when your mom tells you what to do, you're like, I do not want to do it. Don't tell me what to do. Nobody wants to be told what to do. They want to discover it on their own. They want to feel like it's, their own decision, and it should be. And I have no right to say what somebody should or shouldn't and what relationship they should have to a higher power or to not have one. And so I just sort of walk through life that way. And I know that it's helped me in my connection with my higher power. So I just, in life in general, I try not to make anybody feel something if they don't want to feel it. And that's okay. And I don't take it personally, but I know how I want to live my life, and I allow other people to do that for themselves, and that allows me to do that for me. So
we're gonna have to be friends. Sorry.
Okay.
So you said, I was doing a kind of a deep dive into you today, and a lot of people know you because obviously you were on This Is Us, but you said in an interview that music is actually your first love. Can you delve into that a little bit for me?
Yeah, it really is. In middle school, I always tell the story, but in middle school, all the cool kids were in band, and all the pretty girls had flutes and clarinets, and there were no instruments left. And I grew up with every genre of music. My dad was in the Navy, and we grew up in Japan for 9 years. I don't speak Japanese. And we were always around all sorts of music and all different walks of life and culture. And so I love music. I mean, I couldn't live without it. And so I've been exposed to so much of it. And I always would sing, in my bedroom, or like I'd make little mixtapes in my room and stuff. But it wasn't until band where all the instruments were taken, and my mom really couldn't afford to rent one, by the week or by the month. And they were like, oh, well, if you want to play this baritone. And I was like, I do not need to be the chubby girl playing the biggest instrument aside from the tuba. No, I'm not doing it. And my mom can't afford it. And so choir was right next door. And I was like, I'm going to join the choir. And that really, sixth grade, it sort of like opened up a floodgate for me. Like, we played the recorder and stuff in elementary school, but it wasn't until choir and having like this incredible collective experience with one song where you sound like one voice. It was just like the coolest thing to me. But I was always afraid of my own shadow. And so even going into high school, it took forever for me to like audition for the chamber choir. And everyone was like, why don't you join musical theater? And I'm like, no, I had a very difficult high school experience. All my friends went to another high school. I didn't have the greatest relationship with my stepfather. Going through puberty, it was hard, but music was like my respite. Like it was like everything. And when I finally got the courage enough to like sing in front of someone, it was my choir teacher in high school, Miss Rollo, who was so kind. She was like, I want to nominate you for this musical camp at UF. And that really changed my life. And I was like, oh, this is absolutely what I want to do. But then I came to, meet my manager, and she was like, why don't we put music on the back burner and hold, and let's, like, you're funny, so like, let's just do that. And I was like, what? So just as I was sort of like feeling comfortable and confident, it was sort of shut down again. And so I think through playing Kate on This Is Us and her musical journey with, her feeling like she was in the shadow of her mom, Rebecca, played by Mandy Moore, it was like, oh, here we go again. And then it just really ignited this thing of like, I don't have to be, like, I'm never going to be Whitney Houston, right? Like, and that's okay. And there will never be another Whitney Houston, but there'll be a Chrissy Metz, and that's more than enough. And I get to share my story and my music, and just singing for me is so cathartic. So it has been quite the journey, but it was and is always my first love, for sure.
Were you prepared for how big This Is Us was going to become?
No. Yeah. I don't think anybody can prepare you for that. I was a talent agent for many, many years, almost 9 years. And I knew what it was like to see my clients book jobs, and the excitement, and like the fact that they had some financial stability, or they could pay a debt back, or whatever. But to even have an audition the size of a series regular was massive, and I had never even did that before in my acting career. And then to have a pilot picked up, and then to have it be so loved, was like, wait, this doesn't happen very often. This is really special. And then you just sort of hold on tight to like, I hope people like it for a long time, because I love the financial stability and being able to like do what you love. And it was a whirlwind. I still am like trying to calibrate, because life as I knew it had completely changed. So I don't think anybody can. How are you prepared for something you've never experienced before? It's like, I thought I knew, because I was in the business on the other side of the desk. I had no idea.
So what's next for you? Acting, music? Like I'm seeing Broadway.
I would love that.
I'm just gonna put that out.
There was definitely some conversations about taking over for different shows and different roles, but I just couldn't hack it with the schedule of This Is Us. So yes, that's definitely on the bucket list. Something I've always wanted to do. If I could meld the two loves, music and acting, it'd be really special. We're developing some projects. So we're hoping that those get off the ground, a series and a movie. So, people don't really realize what all the development and all that takes. And so for finally to get something on the air like This Is Us and have it so successful, it is really sort of lightning in the bottle. Really it is. So, you keep and try, and you throw around what sticks and stuff that you love and that you're passionate about. And then you just fingers, toes, and eyes crossed. We'll just see.
Awesome. Well, I'm so excited for what is happening with you. Do we know when new music is coming out?
Well, I'm hoping soon. It's just the timing of everything. There's so many different ways that you can do it now. It's not so traditional anymore. So hoping that new single will be coming out soon.
Okay. Wait, before I let you go, you live in Nashville now?
Well, I split my time between here and LA, but I bought a home before COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, in 12 South area. So.
Ooh, okay. So I'm going to do this really fast. We're going to do 5 of your favorite Nashville places. Favorite coffee shop?
Barista Parlor.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Favorite brunch place?
Oh my gosh, favorite brunch. I really like, um, what have I really loved lately? Because I switch it on up. I'll say breakfast brunch is Proper Bagel. They have the best bagels.
I haven't been there.
Oh my word. Oh my word. I love it. I love
Okay.
it.
Favorite place to hear live music?
Oh, I think Ryman, the Ryman.
Almost everybody says that, and
Yeah.
that's true. Okay,
Yeah.
favorite place to grab a cocktail?
Ooh. Um, you know, I'm oof. I do like this bar called Never Never. It's cute and like very simple and small and um feels kind of like, you know, like a neighborhood bar.
Can you go and be unrecognized?
Not really. I mean, there are times where people like recognize me, but they don't approach me. And then there's times that because I want to talk to people, but then I feel overwhelmed, and then I'm like, oh wait, and then I have friends, and I'm like, what? But so it can be a little. The
Okay,
balance is tricky.
last question. Favorite place to shop?
Online.
Okay, favorite place in Nashville to shop?
Yes, favorite place to shop. Um, wow.
I stumped
Um,
it.
yeah, you did. You really did. Um, I don't know. Um, I'm thinking like for like home goods or for like clothes or for, I mean, I love Ulta because I love makeup and perfume and hair stuff. Um, but like it's hard because when I do shopping, I usually shop for other people.
Okay.
um, you know,
Okay.
so that's a tricky one.
I'm sorry. I stumped you.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Okay. So,
Chrissy, it's been great to talk to you. And I really hope we get to meet in person. Now that I know you're in Nashville, we're obviously friends. So,
yeah, and I'm sure we're gonna run into each other now because that's what happens.
right. And I'll assault you, be like, hey, it's me. And
Yeah.
we'll go on
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chrissy. Best of luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Bye, friend.
Bye.